Hi, we're Richard and Jackie from Early Retirement Wanderlust.
For most people, the decision to early retire is a huge one. And a question that we get asked all the time is how do we fill our weeks and what do we do with ourselves when we're not travelling?
So in this video, what we want to do is try and answer that question for you.
So, for those of you that don't know us, we are Richard and Jackie, and we have been early retired now for over 2.5 years. And I can't believe actually how quick that time has gone.
And regular viewers of the channel will know that we early retired to follow our wanderlust, and we loved travelling. And we spend probably about half our year travelling in our VW camper van around the UK and around Europe. But one of the big questions we get asked all of the time is, how do you spend your time when you are not travelling? So it's quite pertinent. We have got 6 weeks where we are back at home now before our next big adventure. So we thought in this video we would try and answer that question, which is not an easy one to answer, but we'll try and get on with it now.
So, our morning routines when we're at home do vary quite significantly between the two of us. Mine's really quick and simple. I like to have a nice lie in, and I probably don't get up until about 9 o'clock. I'll wake up and I will maybe answer some comments from YouTube and scroll a little bit on social media or read, but I just have a quiet, gentle morning. Richard, on the other hand,
I still think my morning's gentle. It's just like a little bit more routined in the fact that I think it's well documented on the channel that I get up early. I can't get out of that habit from work. I have the things that I like to do. So I do my morning meditation, I journal, I stretch, and I do a little bit of work. And that's something that I've always done throughout my entire working life. But it takes on a different complexion when you are early retired.
I like the fact that you've said work. What work do you do?
Well, I do the YouTube stuff, and I do my freelance writing. So that's my morning quiet time. And what we then do is we tend to sort of like get together at about 9:30, 10ish and have breakfast together, which is just something that really we never managed to do when we were working. So we both have our different routines, but it works for us, and that's fine.
But the thing that we do really like is that choice is our own. We now have that time. We don't have to set any alarms. I don't have to be up early to go to work, so I vote with my feet and I stay in bed. Richard just still likes getting up and doing things, and that's okay. We're both different and we both enjoy it.
And it was a bit of a shock to the system when we do have to actually get up. We haven't had to set an alarm for ages, but again, on the flip side, I quite occasionally like maybe once a week to have a little bit of a lie-in on a weekend, and we'll take a coffee up to bed and I'll sit and do my journaling up there and annoy Jackie. But for me, it's a really relaxed start to the day.
For anyone that's new to the channel and have never come across us before, this next concept is quite a strange one. We live right out in the heart of the Yorkshire Dales, and it's quite a long way from any town of any significance. So once a week, when we are at home and we're not travelling, we have something that we call affectionately our big day out.
And this morning, we had our big day out, and it's primarily focused around visiting my mum. Mum is in a care home and it's about 45 minutes away from us. So once a week at least I want to go and see mum, but we don't try and go out of the valley too often. So that sounds really country, but it's really true. We don't like going out of the valley, and we try and clump a whole host of different things together. So this morning, as well as going to see mum, we decided that we needed to clear a bit of the house.
Yeah, so we have a storage unit in one of our local big towns, and we swap stuff around a little bit. So when we came back from skiing, we've let all of our ski equipment dry out and the boots for a couple of weeks upstairs. So we've gone and swapped some of the stuff in the lockup and taken some of the winter stuff back to it and taken some of the summer stuff out again.
And just because you're early retired, the mundane stuff doesn't stop. So moving things around and getting the house tidied is a really important thing. And likewise, our weekly big shop on our big day out is a really important day because where we live, we have a local Booths supermarket, which, if you're not aware of what Booths is, it's like the northern Waitrose. It's very posh. It's
It's
very
more
nice.
expensive than Waitrose.
It's a really nice supermarket, but we couldn't afford to do our weekly shopping there. So while we are going out of the valley and going to see Mum, we pop into the Aldi that's down there and we do our big shop for the week, because that still needs to be done.
And I quite like just having a look around the town. So our Aldi is in the lovely town of Skipton, and it's quite nice just to potter around. There's a castle there. It's just a nice place to be. So we might sometimes go and have a coffee and a cake, or just have a look around.
Early retirement has given us infinitely more time to follow the things that we love, new hobbies, and also projects. So when we first early retired, the big project was where we're living now. So we bought a renovation project in the Yorkshire Dales. We sold the family home, and that was 6 months of really hard work. It was a big learning curve, but it was a great transition in terms of our early retirement. And then when that project finished, we had to sort of find a way of filling our time.
For us, one of the biggest hobbies that we have is we love just getting out into the outdoors, and we do a lot of hiking. So most days we will get out either from our doorstep and go hiking in just the local village where we live, or we will set off to some of the more challenging walks in the Dales. But we do try and get out at least 3 or 4 times a week to do a really good, quite a long hike.
And when we first early retired, we decided to really put ourselves outside our comfort zone and do something that we'd never done before in terms of creating a YouTube channel. We're not particularly creative people. We have just kept our head down and worked throughout our entire life, and we've never really produced anything creative. So yeah, YouTube is definitely one of our projects that we are absolutely loving. I hasten to add, I'm not describing it as work, because it doesn't feel like work at all.
Yeah, we do get quite a few comments that perhaps our channel is now taking over our lives and we're not early retired anymore. We actually have a job. We do YouTube. It's quite a successful channel. We've got over 23,000 subscribers at the moment, but we haven't changed anything that we did right from the start. We do 2 videos a week. You do a little bit of editing most mornings, and that's it for the day, with the rest of the days our own.
Yeah, we try and put, as Jackie says, 2 videos out a week, and the Sunday video, which is all about our travels and adventures, that tends to look after itself really, because we're just out and about, and it doesn't impinge on what we do, because we've always been keen photographers, and all we're doing now is just flipping it around and doing videography and learning things like that. So in many ways, it sort of enhances our adventures. The Thursday video is a little bit different.
Yeah, so we do travel videos on a Sunday, and on a Thursday we do anything to do with early retirement. And we usually set aside half a day a week to sort of plan a little bit of what we're going to do and what we're going to say, and to record it. And really, that's it. That's the time that we spend on YouTube. So it is, we think, still our hobby. We haven't changed the way we look at it.
No, and I've seen loads of stuff recently from YouTubers on YouTube about how sort of labour intensive and how time consuming everything is. And I have to really say, sort of hand on heart, it definitely hasn't taken over what we're doing. Obviously, we're not working at the moment, so we have got quite a bit of spare time, but it doesn't feel like it's all encompassing. And the editing that I do, it's relatively simple. I don't think it's particularly complex, but it's certainly not taking over our lives. When we were working, our health and well-being, we very definitely felt came sort of second best to our job, because the job paid the bills and that had to come first, and we were just trying to fit in our health and well-being stuff around the edges. Whereas now, as part of our early retirement and our standard early retirement week, is probably pretty much front and centre in what we do.
And I like to set myself some little challenges, particularly when we're at home, just to put the fitness aspect of it more to the forefront. So at the moment, we are in the middle of our Mad March Fitness Challenge, where we set ourselves a goal of trying to get into more of a routine, because when we're travelling, some of that does slide a little bit. We still do a lot of hiking, but we tend not to do anything else, which is going well. So within our week now, we're doing sort of 4 sessions of fitness in the home.
Yeah, and really working on our strength, because, we know as we get older, it's really important to work and build some strength work into our daily and weekly routines. It's not particularly easy, and it's at the moment, it's a bit hard going and it aches a little bit, but that's okay because we've got that time to do that. The other thing that we really focus on a weekly basis is our time to sit down, cook and eat together.
So we do plan our meals really carefully. Like we said, today we've been on our big day out. We've been to the supermarket. We go with a list. We've got a week of meals planned that are hopefully quite healthy for us. And we're just eating more mindfully with a focus on our health.
And one of the things that we really enjoy throughout the week is just that evening routine of cooking together, sitting down, chewing the fat and eating together. It was something in our working lives that we missed because our kids were really active, and during the week we were ships that passed in the night because Georgia would be pole vaulting with Jackie and Luke would be rugby or cricketing with me, and we never really had time to just enjoy each other's company and enjoy our food. And now it's a central focus of what we do and we absolutely love it.
Something that we really enjoy still while we're at home is a sense of travel and adventure and exploration. And we do try, even now, while we've been at home, to get away for the odd night. So at the moment, we've got a bit of a focus where we're trying to explore different parts of the Dales, places that we've not been to before.
And one of the great things about an early retirement week is you've got that time to explore your local area. And I think in the past, we've been really guilty of not knowing what's in our own backyard. And 24 hours, so a night away, has been an absolute revelation for us.
We've had a night at the Station Inn. I say exploring new areas, but actually we've been there quite frequently, but it's just one of our favourite places to go to. And we are planning on going up to the Tanhill Inn up in Northern Dales, which we don't know that area at all.
The great thing about our early retirement week is we try and keep everything flexible, and everyone knows from the channel that I love a good plan and I love regime.
He does.
What we're learning to do is to watch the weather, particularly in early season camping time, and we're just looking for those weather windows, and then we're quite happy to drop everything, load the camper van up really quickly and get away for a night, and it is just so refreshing, and we can't believe we haven't really done it before.
No.
Within our normal week of early retirement, we find that we have got time and much more time for the people that we love.
So we've already talked about the fact that once a week we go on our big day out and we will have the focus of going to see Richard's mum and spending time with her. We do go down to Cheshire quite a lot, at least once every week or 2 weeks, to see my mum and spend a night overnight there. And also just having time with the kids and spending more quality time with the kids. We try and see them at least once every 2 weeks as well. Luckily now, they both live in the north of England. They both live quite close together. So when we do leave the valley and we go and see my mum, we can go and see everyone, which is lovely. There was a time when we were working, both of our children lived in Cardiff because they went to Cardiff University, and I'd say we could go up to 6 months at a time where we wouldn't see them. Particularly we were working, they were at uni, and then they went working in Cardiff.
And us having that flexibility throughout the week allows us to fit in around other people's needs. So it makes it much easier to meet up with friends and meet up with family. So for example, this week we've actually got friends coming up. They've got a new camper van and they are coming up to stay at a campsite that literally is just down the road. But we thought it'd be great to get the two VWs together, Jerry and Nelson, and just catch up with them in the local area. But it's a quick, easy and cheap way of meeting up with our friends.
So I guess probably once a week we're either catching up with friends or we're catching up with family, but at least we have that time to do that now. One of the things that we learned from last year from all our travels is we were actually away so long that we didn't have much time at home and we didn't have much downtime. And actually this year we've quite consciously stayed around. So we've got 6 or 7 weeks from when we came back from skiing until we go on our next trip. And we're just really enjoying just having that downtime, that calm time to just sit around the house and actually not do a lot some days.
And it will come as no surprise that I find this incredibly difficult. And it's just because I've never been used to it. My career was always full on, and I guess I was guilty of being preoccupied and I could never switch off. But with the help of Jackie's coaching, I am getting much better at just embracing the downtime, because it's really important that we have time to just do nothing.
Yeah, time to just be. Actually, we've both, one of our targets, I think it was probably 2 years ago now in our goal setting, was for us to read more, because we both were so busy with work that we'd lost the love of reading. But we both now will quite often just spend an hour curled up on the sofas just reading and not feel guilty about it because we can.
And Jackie's definitely corrupted me. I rarely watched TV, whereas now, it's certainly over the course of the last few weeks, I've just been sucked into box set heaven, really. And our evening routine quite often is just sitting down and chilling out with a box set.
Yeah, I've converted him to the love of Netflix, I think.
Yeah, I'm shocked, but it's a really good way of slowing down. And I am finding that I need to cut the TV off at a certain time so I can sleep well. But that's just me being neurotic. But yeah, it's wonderful to just have that time to do nothing.
Or to do nothing, or to just potter in the garden, just potter around the house doing things that we probably never did do when we were living in Cheshire and we were working, actually spending some time once a week cleaning. So hopefully you've enjoyed just having a little bit of a glimpse on how we fill our weeks. We don't particularly have a schedule or a routine. We do just go along with the flow, but there are certain things that we want to fit in, like our big day out and having lots of downtime and socialising with our friends and family.
And we definitely try and balance out our week so that we have times when we are doing loads of things and then times when we have quiet times. And it is that freedom to choose and that balance and ultimately the time that early retirement gives you.
If you think that we've missed anything, or you've got any questions or comments that you want to make, just pop them in the comments below.
Because we love responding to those, and it is just one of the great things about the YouTube community. But that's it from us. As we say, we hope you've enjoyed that little insight, and we will catch you next week. See you later. Bye.
Bye.